So for some reason, you're always looking for distraction to distract your mind because you're afraid of yourself. You're really, you know, you're I've seen someone who said, "Ish, man, I don't want to spend time with that guy. He doesn't. I don't know. We're not compatible together." Could it be that you're also not compatible with your own self? But it is something that you can train yourself to sit with yourself, to take yourself out, to do all those things. It is something that is trainable. It is not like the end of the world or something. So that is the real main purpose of what I'm trying to tell you right now. You need to be able to train that mind to sit with yourself. So maybe some of you understand how cruel you are. You know, all your thoughts are miserable. And you yourself, you don't want to stay with yourself because you think all of your thoughts are miserable. There's nothing good there. You have not trained yourself to do that which is right. So that then becomes a challenge. The other reason why I feel like people generally don't spend time with themselves is because there's just too much to do right now. If I may be honest, there's just too much to do. If there is no decisive action to say, I'm not going to do that thing, rather I'll sit with myself or take time in prayer, you are not going to find that time in prayer because there's just too much to do. There's, if like I was saying, at every site that we look into, at every moment that we're looking into, there's something to do. And so people are not finding time to actually be with themselves. Let's move. The other reason why people don't generally find time to be with themselves is because of the cares of this world. This one is a bit tricky because some of them are involuntarily trying to cater for their own families and they cannot find a way how they can just take time to be, alone. The moment they are alone, they fall asleep because they are super tired and every bit of comfortability is the brain saying, man, I'm going to rest. And by rest, I'm not going to spend time with myself. I'm really going into a deep sleep. And for those ones that are going through that, man, I don't know what to tell you. I hope God gives you something that will give you time, because the riches of this world, as I'm growing, I'm starting to see that time is one of the most greatest riches that you can ever have. So for that particular group, which is doing too much, I don't know what to tell you. For the first time in this video, I've said I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so let's just break it down. The reason why I'm speaking about you needing to be able to sit with yourself is because out of sitting with yourselves comes the ability to actually make decisive decisions that can actually impact your life. Out of sitting with yourself actually comes the moment when you can actually see the mistakes that you've done in the past and you can actually move on to the future and change the way you think. So that is the moment that is really critical. That's why I'm trying to bring it to you to say, you have time with yourself. You have time to sit with yourself. And if you can find it, make time to sit with yourself. And that is what we're trying to really build. That is why I'm saying, why is it important? We've spoken about two decision oriented lifestyles that people are living. The first one is basically the decision that is a random oriented lifestyle, random decision making, whereby you are taken by each and every wind that is coming your way. You yourself, you don't really know what you want to do. You do know because at the back of your mind, you have something you want to do, but you don't have that backbone that can keep you strong enough to be firm at doing that which you want to do. Such that if anybody comes your way at any given time, you are taken astray, the wind's coming, you are going. If someone says, let's go and watch soccer now, even when you have not done your assignment, you're going to watch soccer all of a sudden. Someone comes and say, man, look, let's go and watch a movie. You're going to watch a movie. You do have, but you're not following a certain path. And so that was when we then deduced to say, all such people that are randomly taken from one place to the other, they have the consequences when they finally do take time to be alone, to say the regret that is coming is, I should have written my assignment on time. I shouldn't have borrowed that money like my neighbor did. I shouldn't have watched that movie. I should have used that time to do gardening at least. I shouldn't have did this. I should have done that. That is then the thing that then comes out of it. Because now you are really seeing the results. So random thinkers, random decision makers don't think about the future. That's the first sign. There's no future that they're thinking about. Now we want to dive into science. So now we want to dive into science of random decision makers. The first one is they don't think about tomorrow. That means that their decision making is room tight. They think for the now, they think about what is happening in that particular room, and they forget about the world outside of that room. So it's a random thing that pertains, most of the time, it pertains to gratification of their own flesh. Most of the time, it pertains to gratification of the moment. There's no delayed gratification. So these are the people that then make decisions that are rushed. That's the second thing. The first thing, they don't think about the future. The second one is a rushed decision. Why are you rushing? Why are you rushing? All of a sudden, they make decisions. They feel like if they don't make the decision now, the world is going to stop spinning. For some reason, if they don't make that decision now, someone is going to die somewhere. As if they're doctors of some sort. They feel the urge of making a decision right now without thinking it through. So if you're a random decision maker, obviously you're not going to find time to think whatever you're about to make through. You don't really have a thorough. That should be the third point, but let me just squeeze it in here. You don't have a thorough understanding of why you're making that decision. You do understand why you're making it, but you don't understand the implication of that particular decision. And so they just do and make that decisions. The third thing can actually be seen in their spending habits. Right, this one is going to be tricky because financial issues are tricky. They've built families and they have actually destroyed families. The third thing can be seen in how they spend money. They go out of the house, take a bath, and take that jacket, drive to the mall with the intention of buying 2 kgs of rice, for example. Right? This is why that's the mission. That's what they told themselves when they were leaving the house. I want to buy 2 kgs of rice. Okay? And yeah, they're driving. But as soon as they step into the supermarket, something comes into their mind, and it seems like everything there is bland, is going out of the roof. As soon as their eyes are set on the chocolate, on the ice cream, on the random things that are lying near, they find themselves taking these things without planning. That's a sign that you're a random decision maker. Okay, so they just take these things. All of a sudden, they're shopping. All of a sudden, they're buying sneakers. All of a sudden, they're buying things online. All of a sudden, oh my God, and then they get back in the car with a lot of grocery that they did not intend to buy, and they discover that, look, man, we didn't buy the 2 kgs sugar that we came here to buy. That is a sign that you are actually a random thinker. You need to repent from that, right? And so we move on to the next one, which this one speaks specifically to you who thinks you have it under control. But I'm going to surprise you with this one, because the next group of people don't plan the day that is coming next. Like the night before, they don't take time to plan how they're going to spend their day. Most of us are guilty of this, because once you plan how you're going to spend your day, you are basically telling yourself that I'm not going to deviate from my plan. But once you don't plan how you're going to spend your day, you are telling the world that, man, look, whatever you hit me with, I'm cool. Just hit me with whatever you want to hit me with. That's a sign that you are a random thinker. You don't know what you're going to be doing at any given time, such that the thing that this opens room for other people who have plans to use you in their plans. That hit hard. Let me repeat that slowly. If you don't have a plan for your life, people that have plans for their lives, they're going to use you. They're going to use you to further their own lives. So this is a challenge that we're facing here. You don't have a plan. You don't know what you're going to do tomorrow. People that do know what they're going to do tomorrow are going to use you in their own plans. So be very careful. move away from the random decision-making model into a decisive decision-making model. Right? So these are the signs that are there. There are plenty of them. We can dive in. We can continue going.